Hello class. Today we are asked to talk about finding the domain and range of a function and also how to graph it. So I've gotten a couple of questions on this. I wanted to go over it with you all and make sure we're all clear on this. We are in chapter 3.6. I'm in the study plan. So you should be able to find a similar problem. We are working on problem 3.6.39. That again means chapter 3, section 6, question 39. So you should be able to follow along. And the question we are given says, sketch the graph of a linear function, then give its domain and range. The function we are given is f of x equals 5x plus 2. So the first thing we should notice is that we are in slope-intercept form. So in this case, our 5x is going to be our slope, and our positive 2 is going to be our intercept. So what that tells us is that we are going to find our first point at 0, 2. And the reason for that is if we plug in 0 for x, and if I plug in 0 for x here, I get 5 times 0, which is 0, plus 2, 0 plus 2 is 2. My y value is now equal to 2. So my first point is 0, 2. Then it says, how do I find my next point? Well, I know my slope is 5, so using our rise over run, I can go rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 7, and then go over 1. And we should be able to check this answer, and it'll tell us that we have done it correctly. The second question is it's asking what is the domain. The domain of a function is a set of all x values that we can plug into that function and receive a valid output. It's typically going to be your x values. Again, we're in this f of x notation, so we have this function, we plug in x. What do we get out? That will be our y. So it's asking what are all the things that we can plug in and get a valid answer. Well, by looking at this, we see that I can plug in all of these values of x and get a y. I can plug in this value of x, get this value of y, and that is our ordered pair. Now, what we should see here and what you'd see on most graphs is this little arrow. And it shows that this goes on off the chart, off our scope of the graph into infinity, and it goes into infinity both directions. So what that's telling us is that we can plug in any value, and we will get a valid response. Hence a line as it goes on from negative infinity to infinity. So we know we're down to either A or B. The question comes, what's the difference between a bracket and a parentheses? A bracket means that we include the endpoint. So in this case, negative infinity, comma infinity. Bracket means we include the endpoint. And typically you'd be saying that we should select this one because we do include infinity. However, infinity is kind of a weird concept. Infinity isn't a number, right? There's no infinity plus 1. It's a set of numbers that goes on forever. So it's one of those weird cases where we're actually going to select B in this case with the parentheses. The parentheses means that you don't include the endpoint, but in the case of infinity, since there's no set number, we just use it. Okay, so I should be able to check that answer. Okay, good job. And now we go through the range. The range is the set of all values we get after we plug in this domain of negative infinity to positive infinity. Well, as we saw before, the y values take us on all possible things. So if I plug in 1, I get, it looks like 3. If I plug in 2, we get 7. You can see I get all of these different values, right? So what that does is, again, I'm in this case of negative infinity to positive infinity. Again, I use the open parentheses and the closed parentheses as opposed to the brackets because infinity is not a number. I click check answer and I get well done. We've now gotten the entire question correct. So hopefully that helps explain a little bit about domain and range. Again, the domain is the set of all x values. The range is the set of all y values. And once we have that, hopefully things will get a little easier. If you guys have any additional questions, please let me know.